Good morning, Dr. Ray.
Thank you. So what is the agenda today?
Today we have met here under Ekant,
Okay.
to ask a couple of questions about different things
Just a couple
that
of
you
questions. You are free to ask a large number of a barrage of questions. Just hit it out.
We'll see how many we can fit in.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, so let's just dig right in. Yeah.
Right.
So, Dr. Rai, you are a doctor, a psychiatrist, author,
I'm a stress management
management expert, a lot of things.
coach, relationship coach.
Yeah, you have a lot of hats that you wear. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but what we are seeing you now here is more of a travel writer, travel commentator, travel influencer,
travel
and
videographer.
whatnot. Yeah, and travel photographer. Okay. So, what is the reason that made you come into this? Because it does not match with what you do otherwise.
Yeah. See, I'll cut it short, but the fact remains that right since my childhood days, I don't know, I somehow used to enjoy traveling a lot. But so is the case with many individuals. See, I cannot, make myself to be a person that, I'm the only person who loves traveling or is fond of traveling. Too many people. But in my life, there are two things I've observed that traveling actually has done to me. One is that when I go out of the city, whether I'm in Bangalore, Calcutta or any other city, I have a totally changed mindset the moment I'm actually out on the road or maybe flying or whatever. Now that actually does the trick of really catapulting my mind into a different zone altogether, wherein I'm totally in a zone I know that I'm absolutely attuned to and which I love the most, and I know at the same time that I'm going to borrow pretty heavily from the learning experiences which a traveling can do to someone. And secondly, of late I have started believing this thing that our world is such a beautiful place, and everybody says that, so it's something not very unique that I'm saying that. But again, I found out that India is a fascinating place. So is the place with many other countries. But in our country, the entire canvas is a huge one. And it has not been documented properly as far as the responsible tourism aspect goes.
That's what my second question was. What kind of travel have you done so far? You've been to, of course, many places. What nature of travel has it been?
See, it's been more in the line of wellness retreats, places which are absolutely, see, if I say that, okay, I love mountains, I love seas and the beach destinations, those are again run-of-the-mill things that I'll be saying. But again, to be specific, I love places which has a lot of gold mine of nature in it. One. And number two, where the resorts have come up who are doing a extremely responsible job. And I document them. I am at the moment showcasing resorts or retreats which are doing marvelous job, and at the same time keeping intact the natural resources, the balance which they have actually had the resort in.
Okay.
So showcasing those sort of resources, and at the same time the background, the seating, the topography is something is in my mind which has to be known, seen, experienced by people who have not really been visiting those places.
But see, the people who at least know you, okay, they gather from interactions with you that you call a spade a spade. Yeah. So how near am I with that conclusion?
Yeah, this is a very controversial area. Like, it's been a long time that I find that any particular event or a particular situation that is being talked over, I don't take undue credit of being a person that who has always a different perspective to things. But I found that I don't cater to the typical hard mentality kind of a perspective that people have. And mind you, every object, event or incident can be seen from various perspectives. That's always the truth. It is established in the scientific fraternity. Now, as a person, I'm not beating my drums, but the fact is that I have always gone into confrontation, but I've never, allowed to go out of hand. Like many of our friends and acquaintances tell me that you as a person have always a different view on things. Why can't you come to an agreement that what we are talking about? it's not that, I deliberately beg to differ. I find that in the modern times that people are a little pigeonholed regarding their thinking, one. Number two, people do not have any self-identity when it comes to their own pattern of convictions. They always believe things what others have told them, or getting to hear from other sources.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is that mostly people lack convictions. They don't stand by a particular conviction, which is also true from an objective perspective, though it is subjective viewpoint.
Of course, yes.
But you can objectify.
Yeah, yeah.
And another important thing is that everything under the sun these days, people are absolutely fine with it. That everything is doable, everything is permissible. Okay, I am a very liberal person. But at the same time, I feel that we have come to such a state that we have forgotten, we don't really know how to take different perspective or different angles of a thing which has already been discussed in a manner which is conventionally being done. So that's why, many people consider me that, when it comes to Dr. Ray, he is a hard taskmaster. In fact, I call myself a hardliner.
Okay. So you've been writing for many years now.
Yeah.
Okay. You had a column called Ray-wise.
Then I have mind mapping.
Yeah.
For most of the major newspapers.
And it's as I have read, it's been on a various subjects. It's not just psychology. It's not just about our society. It's about environment. It's what people are perceiving things and all that. Now and even lately tourism and conservation and various other things. What draws you to these areas? What attracts you to say, for example, for tourism per se,
Well, I'll just give you a brief introduction to how things actually unfolded for me. See, back in my childhood days, we had a big library in my house. My brother, actually, he's an engineer. He's settled in India now. He was abroad for a while. Now, this library, we had a huge collection of mainly non-fiction books. And the majority of the books were related to philosophy, metaphysics, philosophy of sciences. Now, I started gorging on these books when I was in class 8, I clearly remember. I clearly remember when I was in class 9, I was reading a path-breaking book by Morris Lazarowitz. It's called The Structure of Metaphysics. Now, it's a very difficult read. But I'm again not, boasting myself saying that, at class 10, hardly 16 years that I was reading a book on metaphysics. It's nothing, it came very naturally to me. I started reading. And reading actually has made me what I am. Now, if you call it that, I dabble with various subjects and matters, it's because of my reading only. And secondly, as just like, we have been discussing that you are also a very observant individual. I am also, but at the same time, there will be probably a convergence about this particular point between you and me, is that, I love dissecting situations and events and analyzing it threadbare. But I don't do like this. Okay, come on, let's think over it. It comes naturally. Suppose I'm just flying, or maybe driving, or maybe just listening to a piece of jazz. I have a parallel thinking going on along with it. Now, this travel writing and the rest, like how I got into, is that I had special inclination towards it, and as I told you that I wanted to document and showcase the sort of things, and more importantly, getting into so many areas of discourses and discussions and writing books. It came naturally to me, and most importantly, I thought that, rather than getting into confrontation or any dialectics with individuals who may have a different perspective, and many times I've found that if you talk about a serious matter in a manner which is deserving, maintaining that particular kind of tonality, people don't understand you. In fact, being a psychiatrist, I'm getting to see that the general intellect of people is coming down. If you tell them something very humorous, they don't laugh. You tell them something serious, they laugh. And at the same time, they don't get a hang of the tonality of a conversation between, say, two people or between me and some person. But this is not a problem that I'm facing with you, because there is a great convergence about our interests and the way we look at things.
Yeah. And I understand that.
Attitudes have changed.
The
way they view things have changed. And more importantly, it's more of a pedestrian kind of a view I'm getting to see. You can't think out of the box, if I may use that, common phrase. I don't use that phrase because it's a cliche.
Yeah.
But the fact is that you need to apply your brain. You need to use your thinking.
Yeah. Sadly, yeah, you're very, very right when you say that people don't actually use their intellect.
Like, I'll give you a good example. It happens a number of times, such incidents. I'm not going to mention this particular name. There is a particular brand of a restaurant which is available in most of the cities. I hate the food over there. But just by the name, it does the trick. Okay, this place, it has to be great food. Now the people go there, start eating, and I'm also there also. I hate that kind of food. It's undercooked, or maybe overboiled, or maybe too many spices have been given. You don't get that particular taste that I'm actually looking for, or maybe they're brandizing. I don't have to tell them. I'm not very loud about saying that I don't like the food. Maybe I'll eat a little. But at the same time, if 10 more guys are there in the group, all of them say, oh, what a food. Now, this is what I beg to differ.
Yeah.
These days, you must have noticed that everything is good.
Yeah.
Everything is fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything is amazing. Everything is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I think as a psychiatrist, these three words, mind-blowing, awesome, amazing, it is actually killing the humanity.
Yeah.
People don't really mean it, but they just use the words.
Exactly, yeah. So we have, as we see in cities, that's been my observation also, people don't disagree on things. They just try to adjust among the scene that is there.
Just belonging to the group, okay, I have to say yes to everything that people are talking about.
Yeah, so if you get to know somebody,
but at the same time,
you rub his ego,
yeah,
and then your job gets done.
Absolutely, yeah.
So to say. Well, let's jump to a different aspect of yours. Okay, your charity work in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Do let me know something more about that.
Yeah, my first charity work started in a small village very close to Sundarbans, actually.
Okay.
It's called Champahati. I love that place. It used to be a place where a lot of old schoolmasters and the teachers used to, go to pathshalas and teach children. So it's a lot of legacy and history. My first charitable clinic started over there. I'm still doing it. And mind you, at a time when I've actually winded up large number of prestigious clinics in places like Bombay, Delhi, and all of the places, I'm still continuing it. And I go twice a week, every Monday and Thursdays. So apart from that, in Northeast, in Silchar, Agartala, and Karimganj, which is very close to the Bangladesh border, Sylhet. So I'm doing those kind of work. It's it's not that I'd like to promulgate to the whole world, announce to the whole world, see, I'm doing charity work. Neither you do the same thing. I do it very softly because it comes naturally to me. You'll not believe, excepting my family members, nobody knows what kind of charity work I do. I don't write in the paper, but this is the first time that actually I'm talking it out in the open that yes, that you asked me a question. Yes, I do a little bit of charity work because my point is very clear. You live once. If you live right, if you serve people, if you do the things what actually people require, you have done justice to your life.
So that answers my next question also. What is your experience about it? You have summed it up very well in that one sentence. Yeah. So the next thing I wanted to touch upon was about the protests, the thinking that is going on, environment issues and global working, and presently we have the thing with RA also going on. The newspaper and the media is full of it. Okay, what is your view on that? How do you perceive it? How do you think is there a way we can find a way out, or is there a way we can do without it, or develop it is required on one side, and how are we to find a solution, tackle these issues? Yeah.
See, as you know, Kartick, this is a matter of serious concern. Let me go slow, and this is a point of immense concern to me. And I'm getting to see more and more people increasingly, and I'll be putting you into that bracket who would cater to this kind of a view, is that time is running out. You don't have much time left to save this world. Even save our lives also. Actually, this should be the epilogue of the discussion that I'm talking in relation to this particular question that you asked me. But I said it first because it's of immense importance. Now, if you take a very cursory look at things around yourself, around the world, you're getting to see only three things. One is that a tremendous chaos which is building up every day. It's a social chaos, personal chaos, family chaos, academic chaos. So the society is absolutely under attack now. The entire civilization, humanity. Mind you, I might sound very pessimistic. Many a times I have been asked this question by the interviewers or the media people that you sound very pessimistic most of the time. I say just one thing. I say, see, if you have a world which is in pieces now, which is really tottering, do you think that this is a time to have a very sort of a rosy kind of a picture or views? Yes, I am a person who starts off with a view. I cannot call myself a pessimist. I am, if at all, I am a natural pessimist. Because if a situation is such which deserves to be criticized and dissected, I might, at the end of it, might appear to be a person who is pessimistic. But that's not the case. I'm doing exact dissection of a situation we are in. So I might sound a little skeptical or a person who is very negatively oriented. I beg to differ on that count. The reason is because the situation is such, it has to be dissected, and finally the shape that it finally takes when the discussion is on or my comments are on, it's very easy to tag that particular situation with that often used word called pessimist. My feeling is that you should come out of that word pessimism or pessimist. Okay, you say, yeah, the situation is such, yeah, you are right that it has to be taken a good look at it, and we need to do something about this, and we need to take stock of the situation.
Yeah.
But fine, see, you look at the environment, it is in utter crisis. You look into education system, it's in shambles. You look into family, it's absolutely breaking up. See, as a psychiatrist, our bread and butter is to be in touch 24 hours with most of the people and the humanity. Forget about humanity or individuals. Can you tell me, I'll give you just one single task, just tell me something which you are very happy about in this world. Forget about, people think that we are doing pretty well, that the civilization is evolving and the humanity is taking good shape, people are happy. There is a philosophy called, as if philosophy, it means people, when they say these days that I'm happy, actually they are not happy. They feel as though they are happy. So you look at everything, they are not in shape, they are not in order. You talk about children, the adolescents, they are not getting the right direction. And mind you, this bad parenting, as a psychiatrist, I am getting to see everywhere. Parents do not know really how to rear up children.
Truly,
Just having a family and giving birth to children is not enough. You have to do the rest. Who is going to take responsibility? So, as there has been a corroboration from your side also, we ought to be globally and holistically responsible.
Yeah.
No other way out. You talk about climate is also a serious concern now. And it's no more a hoax.
Yeah.
People living in their own fool's paradise, that everything is hunky-dory and fine outside. No, not at all. You can shed some light on this. Now this environment and this entire climate is changing.
Yeah, see, how I see it is this development to shunt it completely is not going to be the answer.
Right.
Yeah. So a city like Mumbai is going to require that kind of metro.
Right.
That kind of infrastructure will be required by a city like Mumbai. Okay. That being said, the ultimate aim should be to also develop a forest of a similar kind, okay, or try and do the minimal footprint. Okay. I am amazed how our cities are developing. So like Bangalore has developed.
Right.
Okay, Bangalore used to be a very, very small place.
Yeah.
But now,
a monster now.
That's a monster now. What they've done is they've just cut the trees which are close by, okay, instead of developing pockets some kilometers away, so the green lungs remain alive. So you actually pass through green spaces and go to a different city area. Okay, we don't have to like chop off everything and then extend ourselves into all directions. It doesn't have to be. You can have some suburbs which are not far, but still have a green space in between. That is absolutely doable today. But that planning is lacking. And as we are speaking about now at present, we have the present crisis which is also looming with the so-called road closure in Bandipur. Okay, so there again it's a very big question what kind of road closure should be allowed here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we here in Bandipur, as you have seen, are of the view that the night ban should continue. Because in the 10 years we have seen that the number of road kills here has drastically come down or become nil.
After the night ban.
After the night ban. So since the night ban, there hasn't been any major roadkill like earlier, like we used to have. Okay. So, and even the elevated corridor is also going to cut trees only.
Exactly. So again, you're concretizing it.
Again, you are concretizing it. And how are we going to deal with the idea of, say, garbage that will fall from the cars and everything? Yeah. So, if my opinion is even asked, I would still say we could have an underground tunnel.
Yeah.
Would be the fastest and the shortest distance to cover, and you don't have to cut any trees. You don't have to build any bridges. That would be the best thing one can do.
It's going to be a major venture.
That's going to be a big venture. Okay, but at present we have the possibility that we have a night ban on, which one should just continue it instead of trying to break it.
I personally feel there are certain issues which are cropping up in the postmodern world, which are actually very vexing issues, very serious concerns. But fact remains, there is if you look back into human history, you'll see you cannot please both parties at the same time.
You can't.
People who are activists, they might be clamoring, to prolong the night ban. And people who are into this, states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu and the rest, they might be thinking otherwise. So to come to a middle ground, of course, that's what the necessary aspect is. But at times it becomes extremely difficult. It's easier said than done.
True. But
then, especially at a time when we are actually seeing a major fillip in the area of, say, habitat preservation and this conservation of tigers and giving the right benefits to the animal and the wildlife, preserving the flora and fauna. It is imperative that we do definitely give a lot of impetus and thrust into the policy changes which are required in order to preserve those things which are already in decline.
Yeah. So
that should be the topmost priority.
The priority should be how to live with it.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to change it and trying to find you cannot
minimum things which probably you cannot do without.
Yeah. So you just need to do the bare minimum stuff instead of expanding everything.
Yeah.
We might just have to, in the longer run, be able to live with leopards in our backyard.
Maybe.
Yeah. So maybe a better road system, or there is a carpooling which will make sure that people don't get attacked by any wild animals at night time. That will save the day for many of them.
But Kartick, I have a problem with this aspect that we human beings have a very tragic trait. Is that we think that we own this planet Earth. Okay, and we are the master, and we can do anything we want to be, and we can get away doing anything over here. This is a mindset which I am totally against this, that it's got to change by hook or crook. Me in my personal life, I've never taken this kind of attitude ever in my life. That if I am living in a particular place, okay, this is my area, that I am the warlord here, and I own everything. You'll get to see this is a problem with the affluent class, is that they think that they own the world. And this is a global problem. In fact, many people that have made all over the years, they say that this attitude has to change. Once you change this attitude, you see there are a lot of responsible transformation is happening not only in your life, and you tend to take a different view of things where you need to put in your effort.
True. You brought in the subject earlier with bad parenting and all that. Okay. But but we talked about environment, but then we can jump on to what is happening to bad parenting, and because everybody is so self-centered, because they think that a child is going to make them happy, will give meaning to their marriage or union, or however one may want to call it. Okay, but then they think that is what they are shaping their lives with: a child, a house, a car, and this one. And to help with everything else, my family should be fine. So, like I see a lot of people in the United States and other places, and even my own family members I have seen, they try to emphasize on my family is important. Okay, but it ends there. It's very, very nuclear to that extent. The larger perspective is missed completely. So you end up having a very self-centric
view of things.
View of things, yeah, where people can only see that much and not more. Okay, so now that wouldn't you think that is actually rubbing off or reflecting on the way we are traveling, the way we are eating, the way we are moving, the way we want to live on Earth.
Everything has actually hidden connections. Everything in this world is interconnected, or maybe the entire universe. Now, coming back to this entire problem of the crisis that we are facing in the current generation or in the world now, there are plenty of areas which requires a great deal of thinking and great deal of soul searching. Like take for example water scarcity. Take for example the kind of the violent streak that has come into the society in almost all cultures. I'm seriously worried about the global aggression. I'm not singling out any particular country, but this is a common focal point in almost all countries. Now you talk about the culture of violence which has set into the modern societies. To find a very sober individual is something like a great task. I mean, every day I'm getting to see people with serious anger issues, the husbands, the children, the wives, the young guys. And now this culture of violence has been fostered largely by the media, and at the same time, it's like not being self-accountable, not being responsible enough about your own life. See, Kartick, at the end of the day, an individual, there are a lot of psychological theories which has established this fact, but I'll take a different dimension. At the end of it, you lead a life of your own in a world where thousands and millions and billions of people live. But you as an individual have a lot to contribute to this world. If you do that, that's good enough for you and also for the immediate vicinity. So if the same thing is done by a large number of people, is going to accumulate, and finally there's going to be a sea change in the way things are now.
Yeah, I think that is a very nice way to answer that question.
The administrative apathy has to change also. We have a lot of policies, a lot of things, we have a lot of legal provisions, but things are not really moving. Probably there is a general lack of collective will that let's do something for the world. And as David Attenborough has been making a lot of videos, and I'm a great admirer of his work, is that the fact remains home and dry that we don't have much time left to change this world, to save ourselves, and it's almost at the end of it.
Yeah,
we have crossed the point of no return. So if you have to do something, do it right away, and that's what has been my agenda in my travel. The stories and the various blogs that I've been doing. It's not singularly just promoting a resort. It's a whole canvas of being holistically responsible and contributing small things so that you can change really of things in this world.
Yeah, so in that sense, you would agree that the climate issues, environment issues are not exaggerated.
No, not at all.
They are very real to stay.
You see the hurricanes, the way they are coming, and then these typhoons, the drought-prone areas, the sudden floods. And mind you, in another 15 to 20 years' time, the water level is going to increase by almost 7 to 10 meters. So all the coastal cities are going to be drowned. Like cities like say London and San Francisco, they're going to see stars. It's not a joke anymore.
No, it's
Let's be absolutely clear on this count.
Yeah, it's going to hit us very hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, see, together with responsible tourism and all that, one always has the responsible living. Okay. Now, you have earlier spoken about being a vegetarian, being vegan, and different aspects of it. What is your view on veganism?
Yeah, this is something you have to embrace now. If you, again, first thing is that you have to be aware of what's the phenomena which are driving the world to a state of madness, or a place wherein we have nothing much to do about. So that first thing. So second is that responsible changes that you need to cultivate within yourself. Veganism is a part of it, and it's going to have a major role to play in order to give the right direction to the world that we are living in now.
So after listening to you and your views now, okay, there is this one very big question that comes to me. Okay, does humanity in our time have a chance? And what will be your advice to the so-called millennials and the youngsters who are out there trying to make a new life, trying to hit it out big. What would your advice be, and does humanity have a chance at all?
See, there is a very interesting change which is being witnessed nowadays, that the young guys and the so-called millennials, they have become sort of pretty responsible. They are aware about the environment. And if we are getting to see any major changes in any particular country related to climate injustice, or maybe the eating patterns, or the lifestyle changes and the rest, you would see more than 80% of these people who are actually protesting or actually observing any kind of changes to be made, they are actually comprising the youngsters. And this is a major change, and it is a welcome change. Why it is so? Because they are the harbinger of change. Because the old people, they have their old-fashioned views. Though there are some, we are almost in the same bracket, but still then we have the modernist outlook. That's because our attitude has been different all the years. But mind you, there are three things which has to be done. It need not be a mathematical equation. One is that, as I keep on harping the same point again and again, I'm very sorry to say that, we have to be self-accountable and being responsible out and out. Number two is that we have to make necessary changes not only in your individual life, but also in your family. Charity begins at home. If you have the right kind of tutelage or the parenting of the children are finally going to be instrumental in making changes. And mind you, at a time when the children in our times are actually getting totally misdirected. So they have to be brought back in shape, and that's the task of the parents and also the society. Media has to be responsible also. There are many things which are fundamental rights, but I beg to differ on certain counts. There are certain fundamental rights, but they have to be observed in an appropriate manner. And at a time when information explosion is a serious issue now. Yeah. I call it information clutter. We don't require actually so many information. Yeah. What do we need it for? 99.9% information actually is unnecessary. They're redundant. I, in my personal life, in my family, has totally cut out all those information which are hovering around us, and we don't need them. What am I going to do with it? Then smartphone addictions. See, if you look at it, that's why I started off by saying, if you look at it, the entire world order is in shambles. Just having swanky malls and Lamborghini in your backyard does not mean that you are a happy individual and the society is doing well. Let me pull it very starkly.
That's a very, very pointed statement to make.
Absolutely, and I mean it.
Very pointed statement to make.
My word.
Yeah.
And last but not least, you have to simplify your life.
That's the.
You have done it. I've done it.
Yeah. We need to relook how we live.
Take a good look at your life and then
relook how we look, what we require, reduce the clutter, and let not everything get over your head.
Be human.
Be human by starting with your own self.
Yeah. Spend time with your family, talk simple things, enjoy simple things, look out into the nature and do something for it. Bas, full stop.
On that note, Dr. Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.